Moose, it was as bad as it looked yesterday. And I can understand why Jets fans are embarrassed. I can understand why the Jets as an organization are embarrassed because their team wasn't competitive yesterday. But I got to ask the Jets fan, if you're being honest with yourself, what did you expect? And I'm not saying it should have looked as bad as it did yesterday, but we all know Bill Belichick. He coaches like a jerk sometimes. He coaches like a jerk often when it comes to the Jets, a team that he absolutely despises, but he's done this to the Dolphins. He's done this to the Bills. He does this to everyone he can do it to. And you allowed yourself to get the score run up on you yesterday because the roster wasn't competitive. But what did you expect this year? What did you expect this year, Moose? Okay, did it look horrible? Was the score ridiculous?
Yeah.
Yes. This is going to be a bloodbath of a season, no matter how you sliced it, when you're facing a much better coaching staff. You got rookies everywhere. You've got rookie with Zach Wilson, who we just found out from Adam Schefter. It looks like it is a PCL sprain. This is literally from a minute ago. It looks like he'll be out 2 to 4 weeks. And you hate for this to happen with an injury, but you know what? Maybe a couple weeks off wouldn't be so bad for the kid. There are times when he doesn't look like he should be on the field. It's one thing to go through your rookie mistakes and your hiccups and this. He at times doesn't look like he should be on the field. He needs to take a step back. You got rookie head coaches. You got a rookie offensive coordinator. You basically have a rookie defensive coordinator. You have so much youth on this team. They don't know what's going on. You missed C.J. Mosley yesterday. You could say that's almost as big as losing Zach Wilson. You had the Patriots going to the middle of the field. But, Moose, I know it looked bad. I know you're embarrassed. I know the coach didn't have answers yesterday. This happens when Belichick gets into a team. He wanted to embarrass the Jets yesterday. Mission accomplished. He wanted to go for style points. You flush this game. You don't make big sweeping generalizations off of a game like this. Jets fans, you knew it was going to be bad this year. And if you didn't know, now you know. You should have known.
2 weeks, though.
Who cares? The Patriots are so much better.
Or are they? I mean, are they?
They hung
50,
with the Cowboys. They hung with the Bucs.
Are they 54-13 better? I mean, they're that much better. They weren't a 15-point favorite yesterday. They were a 7.5 point favorite going into the game up there in Foxborough. They had 551 yards of total offense. They had 32 first downs. This coaching staff and this team, and I understand C.J. Mosley was out of the game. I get it, dealing with the hamstring injury. Maggie, you had a week. You had 2 weeks to get ready for this game, and you gave that performance. Mind you, it is this coaching staff and this team's decision to put Zach Wilson on the field.
Well, they don't have no choice.
Well, they didn't give themselves a choice. They basically said when they drafted him, he's playing, whether
which was ridiculous
by hook
at
or
the
by
time.
crook. So
And
now you
ridiculous
look
now.
and you see Mike White step into that game. Yeah, I mean, Bill Belichick loves embarrassing the New York Jets, but I can't ask for a little bit more from this coaching staff. That, yes, I understand the Patriots are better. We all know the Patriots are a better football team. The Jets got dragged yesterday
They did.
by the New England Patriots. The coaching staff got embarrassed. This was not a short work week that they had to deal with. They had plenty of time to prepare for the New England Patriots. Plenty of time. And I get they haven't won up in Foxborough since the 2010 season, January of 11. That playoff game was the last time the Jets won up there in Foxborough. I understand the Patriots have owned the Jets, whether it be Tom Brady at quarterback, whether it be Mac Jones at quarterback, it does not matter. However, I can maybe expect a little bit better of a performance than I got yesterday, no? To where they're running trick plays, they're throwing on you up 30 points, they're dragging you, they're embarrassing you, and as a staff, you had plenty of time to get ready for this game, and you gave that performance?
Listen, I'll ask, though, are the Jets, especially when you have injuries, and I know we talk about this more with the Giants, but you're talking about key positions here. Did anyone really think that the Jets were going to hang with the Patriots yesterday when the Patriots were so motivated to go and embarrass the Jets? First of all, again, Belichick loves embarrassing the Jets, but also they have not won at home yet. They found a sitting duck of a team, and they just took it to them.
So why
that happens all the time with Bill Belichick. It should not be this rush to, oh my gosh, like this is some kind of new low point for the Jets. What did people think this season was going to be? This was learning on the job for everyone. Now, you could say that's a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. But to be fair, this is the ground floor of the rebuild. This is what happens. You get totally thrashed by teams that are better than you, that are trying to make a statement. this is what happens. That's why you take the good wins about the Titans and you take that. Every win for the Jets this year is just gravy. That's it. Expectations on this team, if you have them, that's on you. This team is not ready.
No, but aren't those two different things? I'm not looking at expectations. I'm just looking not to get embarrassed. I don't have expectations on the Jets this year. I don't think any Jet fan looks at this year and says that, that you expect them to be a competitive team this year. But did you really? You went into that game yesterday thinking the Jets were going to give up 54 points?
Moose, I even bet this game. I laid the 7. I thought, I'm not trying to troll Jets fans. I thought this was the easiest one on the board yesterday,
right,
even with all those big spreads. I literally put my money where my mouth is on this. The Jets aren't ready. And also, I've seen this movie so many times with Belichick and rookie head coaches and rookie quarterbacks.
But this is, you've seen them already. The Jets have already seen the Patriots this year.
And
they
look
saw
at what Belichick did.
But they saw them up in Foxborough. They saw them down in MetLife Stadium. And now you see them yesterday up there at Foxborough. I can expect Robert Sala and his staff. Was the game plan by LaFleur great yesterday?
Oh, no. We talked about him being Fredo.
Was the defensive game plan by Sala great yesterday?
No, Moose, but we were talking about what the hell is Mike LaFleur, what the hell is he doing anyway with how they're using the wide receivers and why they're not targeting Mims and what's going on with Moore. They've been discombobulated this whole time. An off week apparently did not. They're still the Jets. Like the off week miracles don't happen in a bye week.
Well, but you could expect something a little bit better than yesterday.
But this is the thing. Belichick already saw you once too.
Sure, but if you're Robert Sala,
and he went for the jugular.
I get it. If you're Robert Sala, then you should expect this. I mean, this is what you do. You're a football head coach. You're going into that game yesterday. Listen,
they don't know where to look. They don't know what's going on. They're drowning.
But that's on the staff, though, is
it
not? They're
all rookies.
So I get it, but they're not good. I mean, they're not a good staff.
Right now, they're not.
They're not. I mean, the team didn't look prepared yesterday to play a football game. Robert Sala, after the game, saying that the effort was there. Robert, after your team loses by 41 points on the road, you can't tell me that the effort is there. Very much sounds very similar to what we were hearing from Aaron Boone and the Yankees and Joe Judge, where we're mocking him out.
Yeah.
So Robert Sala deserves to get mocked out because you can't tell me that.
The Yankees had expectations of being the best team in the American League. The Jets are at ground zero here.
But it's a matter of the messaging from the coach. Yesterday, they got thoroughly embarrassed to the point where Belichick is still got the score up on the screen at 2 hours after the game went final. He loves rubbing into the Jets.
Yep,
so when do the Jets stop being the road bump? Like, when does it become a point where talent is talent? I get it, but as we were critical of Joe Judge and saying you got to get a lot out of a little, you differentiate yourself as a coach by saying this is what we need to do in order to be successful. Have you seen that really from Sala so far as a head coach? No, the answer to that is...
It's not a fair fight against Belichick.
It's not just...
Not in year one, it's not.
Okay, but can I look at it on the whole? Can I look at it when I'm having defensive linemen cover Kyle Pitts against the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh, the Broncos?
Can I look at LaFleur as this game plan and say, well, look at this team outside, and it's amazing that the Tennessee Titans lost to the Jets based on what we've seen this year. But unfortunately, Maggie, this has become it. The Titan game is the outlier. They've gotten dragged every week.
Because this roster is not good.
Every single week, but it's on the staff to do a better job to get this team prepared. Then talent is talent. I get it. They're
Jets
better.
Don't have a lot.
Well, they're good.
They don't.
They're better. They don't have a lot. They don't need to be embarrassed every week. They're getting it. So every single week, the Jets, you have little to no expectations coming into it. They have enough talent not to happen what happened yesterday. Losing by 41 on the road to a Patriot team that was 2-4 going into the year. This is not a great New England team. We've talked about it. The secondary, they traded Stephon Gilmore. The game plan by LaFleur, more often than not, is very, very naive in concept. There is no creativity whatsoever. He is not this offensive wonderkin that probably Jet fans thought he was going to be to start the year. And I get they've lost Zach Wilson, now out for the next 2 to 4 weeks. I guess, Maggie, I look at that yesterday and say, well, when's the pushback? When's the pushback? Because the Patriots came to town at MetLife Stadium and did next to nothing offensively and thought they could embarrass Zach Wilson. They did. Yesterday, the entire Patriot team went out there and embarrassed every member of that Jet team.
Oh, yeah. Richard Seymour called it homecoming game. I mean, yes, all of that is true. You have come into just the worst possible combination, which is the roster doesn't have enough talent, whether that's because of injuries and you got backups to backups playing, or because Joe Douglas did not put enough talent on this roster. So you got that in a combination with a coaching staff that is all learning on the fly. It's amazing to be part of good staffs when you're an assistant coach. We all know what it's like, that it's so much different when you get into that top spot, and this entire coaching staff doesn't know where to turn. And that's against Belichick, who totally and thoroughly is just in another stratosphere than all of them. So this is why Belichick almost hangs a 50 on someone like once a season. I mean, he does this to teams. He's done it to so many. I've watched this movie so many times. This is what it was going to be like here for the Jets. Maybe not hanging 50, but anyone who thought even just like, oh, keep it close, see what happens maybe in the second half of the season, because this first half of the season with all these people at all these new positions, it was always going to look bad. Always. The defense helped you out a little bit in the beginning. They were a little frisky.
I'm surprised at how bad it looks now as a staff, how unprepared the team looks. I'm not telling you that this was a playoff team to start the year, no. And I didn't know how many games that this team was going to win, and they're going to have a top 10 draft choice at the end of the year. The Houston Texans had the Patriots down 22-6. The Jets yesterday gave up over nearly 600 yards of total offense and lose a game by 41 on the road.
Yeah, but the Patriots also hung with the Cowboys and they hung with the Bucs.
There does come a point where I know that, and you're right, you're not wrong about that.
They played well against good teams.
They eventually lost. I mean, they eventually lost those games, and they did play well against Tampa. Now that is a game that you circle on the calendar. The Jets as a staff, I think you can be disappointed as a fan with the performance that they gave yesterday, knowing that this staff had 2 weeks to prepare for this team and this game, and they came out with what they came out with.
They didn't even know what they were walking into, it seemed like.
No, well, that's a problem. And I think it's a fair criticism to look at and say, it can't look like that. Like, it really can't. Like, it's not a matter of whether or not you thought the Jets were going to win the game. And nobody really thought the Jets were going to win the game. It just can't look like you're a laughing stock of the National Football League, where you're having trick plays being run. The Patriots are throwing the ball up 30. They have little to no respect about what you're going to do. I mean, there does come a sense of pride, and then you hear Sala after the game, Maggie, saying, giving the excuses and being the ultimate players guy when this is his hand-picked staff that he put together. And let's be honest, they're not good. They're not good at the job that they do. This is not playoff talent. There's enough talent there to play a competitive game against the Denver Broncos, and they didn't. There's enough talent there to hang with the Patriots for a half, and they didn't.
No.
Like that, I'm not looking for them to be there in the third and fourth quarter.
We're going to disagree on that.
There is enough talent there for them to be able to make it look a lot better. We were having the conversation going in the Titan game. Give them credit. They caught a Tennessee team that was absolutely sleepwalking, that didn't have A.J. Brown, didn't have Julio Jones. They come back and win that game. This is more than just what their starts are offensively in the first quarter. Yesterday was an eye-opener, I think, for everybody, about where this staff is and where this team is, and the pressure is on Joe Douglas and Robert Sala.
877-337-6666. Want to hear from the Jets fan. I know, difficult. Just saying, we've all seen it before. Even the Jets have seen it before. Remember when they hung 50 on the Todd Bowles team? Mario's in Howell, New Jersey. Mario, how are you?
Hey, Maggie Moose, good morning. Maggie, you're asking Jets fans, what did we expect? All right, I mean, this is just one Jets fan right now. I mean, I expected a lot better than what we witnessed yesterday. I mean, the wins, I think Vegas only predicted the Jets to have 4 wins this year. We wanted to see progress. We wanted to see teams that are in games. 2 weeks to prepare. The first 2 plays when they have the ball, 2 handoffs to Carter. Third play of the game, Wilson is sacked for an 8-yard loss.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
And Bryant was unblocked on that. He just came right around the... That's the easiest sack he'll get in his career.
I mean, this... Honestly, at this point, I really don't know what to say anymore. I really do not... It can't be every third week of October where I'm tuning out of the NFL and I'm watching more college games because I want to be up to date on, some of the college plays that my team might wind up
I know,
picking.
but Mario, we do this, and I understand why. We do this to the Giants too, but we do this to the Jets, which is we take all of the past failures and we lump it on the current team that we're watching. If you're really being honest with yourself, what did you really expect this year? You've got a rookie quarterback who you decided to give no legitimate backup to, not even just for like the film room aspect of it. You've got nobody in there in his ear except for, another first-year offensive coordinator? You got the blind leading the blind out there. And then you start having injuries in training camp. And then yesterday you have injuries to your most important player, C.J. Mosley. Like, I get the built-up frustration of all of the past failures. I get it. I'm asking, what did you expect this year? Did you really, really think that this was a team that was above getting blown out in Foxborough? Hell no.
What about getting blown out in Denver?
Listen, they went on the road to Denver and they got smoked. And that's when Denver was still playing well, and I can't explain that.
Getting lit up by Sam Darnold and the Carolina Panthers in the first half.
Well, Moose, what do you want me to say? The opener, when you had, you have your rookie quarterback on the road? This is what I'm saying. I'm not expecting anything from this staff. They can't win anywhere. To get blown out in Foxborough, was that such a leap? No.
I guess it's not incomprehensible. No, I agree with you there. I guess for a Jet fan, the fear is, here we go again. Has Sala and his staff differentiated themselves? They have not. They have not.
No.
Honestly, they have not.
They're all new at
You
this.
Look at it, and that's a
maybe
problem.
That's a failure from Joe Douglas and Woody.
Well, it's a failure. Joe Douglas, has he put together a talented run? No, he is not. So it's just time clicking by once again. Even though it's not, and here's the add insult to injury. It's not a great Patriot team, and they still embarrassed you. It's not a great Patriot team. I don't care what anyone tells you. You can move the ball on that defense. You can do things on that team. And they went out there, and as you mentioned, Richard Seymour said it was homecoming day. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was an antelope to the lions yesterday if you're a Jet fan. And it's tough to take because you've seen it. You've seen the beatdowns time and time again. You're tired of the beatdowns.
But what made you think yesterday was going to be different?
Because you know what? You thought Sala was different. And you're a little bit concerned that he's just everybody else. He's just a guy. Because he's not separated himself as we could look. I'm not asking for them to win a ton of games this year.
Right.
Just look a little bit better. They surprised everybody. I didn't think all of a sudden the Titan victory was this turning point to the season to where they were going to be competitive. No. Just don't lose by 41. Don't be a laughing stock of the National Football League where you're getting mocked out yesterday. Can I get a little bit of that? I mean, that would be nice, right?
The answer, Moose, no, you can't.
Well, then how ugly is it going to get? When is it? I mean, how many 40 or 30-point losses do you take this year? Do you say, well, it's just there's no expectations this year? There does come a point where then you're not a good football coach. You're not a good staff because injuries happen. It's a matter of you differentiate yourself as a head coach by doing a lot with a little. Everyone, as we mentioned yesterday, Friday, when we were talking about Joe Judge, there's a lot of guys, men and women, that can coach with really talented teams. And you roll them out there. Kyrie Irving talking about when they were coming together, we really don't need a coach. Like all of those things. Like you can win a lot of games. What separates you is what you do in game planning to take advantage, minimize your weaknesses, take advantage of their weaknesses. The Jets do none of that. They really don't. It's amazing what you look at. Like the stunning thing with me yesterday, Maggie, was this: is that the scary thing is they had so much time to get ready for this game. They had so much time to get ready and pinpoint this game, and they got embarrassed.
Well, something tells me the Bourne to Aguilar touchdown was probably not one that they were expecting.
Probably
and
not.
Belichick just pulled out all the stops to make sure that the Jets remembered this one.
Oh, no doubt.
But if we're going to judge every rookie head coach by how they are when they go up against Bill Belichick in Foxborough when the Patriots have a ton to prove, then we're really going to be in trouble here. Really going to be in trouble. And I know, I'm the last person who ever wants to preach patience, but I just had to ask the Jets fans, what did you think? What did you think was going to happen? This year was all about the rebuild, and turns out it's just going to be a little more painful than you probably thought it was going to be. but it was all about the rebuild. Now we get the news, Zach Wilson, 2 to 4 weeks. And you know what? Take a seat. You hate to have it for an injury. Don't want it for an injury. He needs to take a seat because it's just not working right now for him.
Let the Mike White era begin.